Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is the 5-minute watch review. My name is Strider, or you can call me Little Jim. Most videos are going to be 5 minutes long, but extra special watches get the spotlight. And that could be as long as 20 minutes. So strap in, we're going for a ride.
I want something different, not the typical watch. I need uniqueness, gotta take it up a notch. Everyone knows time is shown with hands, but that's so boring, I've got bigger demands. Let's start with the case, I think that's fair. Gonna need a different shape, like rectangular, but not too big on my wrist. Let's not get crazy, and give me sapphire, not cheap glass that's hazy. It's got that linear flyback, watch that time climb up, then watch as it drops back. Working that pole, like that girl that you know. She's got daddy issues, but you're sure it's love though. Climbing up like Donkey Kong and Mario, up and down all day repeating the scenario. The lights inside are blindingly bright, so when you read the time, it'll always be right. In the dark or the day, you hear the time click away. The metallic clink, the hours and minutes, and see no battery to replace. Magnetic charger snaps in place, keeping you on the go. So every day you will know that you're good to go, and in the dark it'll glow. Time to get me one, let's go.
Hey guys, welcome back to the 5-minute watch review. My name is Jim, and I am super excited for what we're about to experience together today. This is the Mech XP MS1001. Mech XP is the abbreviation for Mechanical Exploration, which is a new brand of watches that was only founded just a few years ago, I believe 2016 or so. Now, if you're the kind of person that would get worked up by having a discussion regarding Deckard being a replicant or not, this watch is 100% up your alley for sure. This is the cyberpunk sci-fi lover's dream watch. And anyone having an interest in machining or engineering is going to love it as well. But for the rest of us who are just here because we love watches, how is it? Well, before I go too far, you're seeing all of this and expecting it to be stupidly expensive, but it's not. Somehow, it's not. They're $300 to $320, depending on whether you get the regular brushed stainless steel or if you get the very slightly more expensive black PVD coated. Well, the second I saw this, I bought it, like literally no hesitation. And I've only reacted like that with a handful of watches out of the 500 or 600 that I've owned in my lifetime. It took me longer to decide on the colorway that I wanted than it did on whether to buy it or not. Take a look at the screen and we'll see together what the different color options were that they have available on these. Now, why is this watch so special? Well, because it's running an actual motor inside. You know, sometimes we'll refer to a watch's movement as its engine. Well, I don't, but I've heard people do it. I find it to be annoying. It's like when people call the tires on their car shoes. No, there's no direct correlation there. It really bothers me. But this actually has a tiny motor inside that's driving the time telling on this watch. And that's pretty darn cool. And what it's powering is what they're calling a linear flyback. And we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. It's an interesting way and a unique way to display time. Now, I dig stuff like this, and I've had a few watches that told time in unconventional ways. I'm wearing one right now, my Nubeo Skylab, which I still absolutely love. I think it's fantastic. That's a wandering hours watch. And the thing is, when you get into funky time telling like this, in the very beginning, the very first time you glance at it, you're like, what in the world's going on there? How am I supposed to read that? But after, I don't know, the first probably a few minutes, but first few hours of wearing it and looking at it and telling the time with it, it becomes easier and easier to where soon you just do a quick glance and you can very quickly read the time as you would on any normal watch. Now, let's dig into the name that they give the complication here, linear flyback. Okay, so a flyback complication, I'm going to kind of prop this up here so that we can get a good look at it. Hold on a second while I set the strap up, and we'll just kind of do it like that. I think maybe that way I'm not shaking the watch around or anything like that. It's a little easier to see. So it's moving up and down like an elevator. So think of these indications here being an elevator car. And it gets all the way up to the top. And then in some horrific, murderous fashion, it instantly drops to the very bottom to then start going back up again to the top. That would be a nightmarish, hellish ride to the top of any building, but that's the general idea. So it's fascinating and it's fun because there's always motion to be marveling at. Now, I want to set it up here, and this will be my first time setting up. This is not the current display of time. Right now it is 250? Blurry camera, 250. So we're going to quickly set this up. Now, I'm having to memorize this and then do it, so bear with me if I make a little mistake. This is my first time doing it. All right, so to set the time, first let's talk about what the indications are. This is the hours side, quite obviously, and this is the minutes side. And right over here, next to where the hours are, is a battery indicator. So it's a power reserve indicator to let you know when you need to charge the battery again, which is a very neat thing. Because what you've got here is a truly mechanical display of time, but it's not a mechanical movement. You've got the precision of a quartz movement. Let's break out the charging cable to show that to you. Let's get this out. So here we have a USB adapter. Then right on the back here, you'll see it. That is a magnetic charging cable. Let's get it lined up here. Only goes one way. And boom, it drops right on. So on a single charge, it has been said that it will last about a month. I'd say that's pretty darn good. Now, let's get to setting this, all right? When you want to set this watch, you only have one control here. You have this one crown. It's a rotating crown as well as a pusher. All of the things that this watch does is done off one single control, which is nutty. Now let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that puts us into set mode. Now if I turn the crown, it's going to allow me to adjust the hour. What time did I say it was? It is now 2:51. Oops, I went too far. I don't think you can go back. Oh, you can. I don't like the idea of doing that because I don't know if you're supposed to. Let's watch it snap back. Oh, it won't if you're manually doing it. Okay, well, that's good to know, I suppose. Let's bring it back down to 2. We'll be at 2:52 by the time I get done with this. There's 3, there's 2. Now I confirm the hour, and then it sets up my minutes. And then I rotate the crown to bring it up to 52. We're now at 28, 29, 30, 34, 35, 39, 40, 45, 50, 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to call that good enough. Then I press it again to confirm that that is the current time. Now, it's displaying 2 o'clock, 2:52. Now, here's where the fun begins. I'm going to bring this up to the microphone because I want you to hear this, because when you've done something to cause these indicators to move, you can feel it and you can hear it. It's pretty darn cool. Take a listen to this. It sounds like the autofocus on a DSLR camera and a little bit like the shutter clicking. It's really wild. I've never felt or heard anything like this in a watch. It is very, very, very cool. Now, let's talk about the chronograph complication, shall we? So if you want to use the chronograph, all we do is press 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now we're at 0. So I press it once to begin the chronograph. So that's your stopwatch. Press it again to stop. Press it again to reset and go back to timekeeping. That's it. Now, if I want to know how much energy is left on my battery, I press twice. It will automatically go back into time mode if you don't mess with it anymore. Or you can simply press it once and it'll go back to time mode. Now here's the other neat thing. This watch has a stupidly bright backlight. Watch this. You press once for the backlight. You have 3 very, very bright LEDs inside of this watch. Let me go ahead and prop this up again because I want you to see something else. And I didn't know that it did this. None of the instructional videos that I saw about this watch gave any indication about this. But check this out. We put this right there. Oh yeah. Now, I'm also going to hit the backlight. How cool is that, man? Yeah. This thing is all kinds of awesome. I have not been this excited for a watch, and I don't know honestly how long. Now, there's one more indication that you need to know about that hopefully you'll never see, but if the battery is beginning to go dead, then where you see the backlight coming on here in blue, that'll come on in red. That indicates you need to charge your battery. So what you'll do is, maybe once a month or twice a month, right before you go to bed, take the watch off, lay it on this charger on your nightstand or wherever you keep your watches, and that's it. When you wake up in the morning, you're at 100% battery, you're good to go. Now I'm going to get this onto my wrist. I'm going to take my big, giant Skylab off, which, again, so cool. I love unique forms of timekeeping. We'll discuss in a moment here the dimensions and specifications because I was a little bit worried about this. The little bit of marketing that I've seen on this watch, they must have been very dainty men wearing this watch because it looked really, really enormous. It looked as big as the Skylab on them. And this is pushing the boundaries for me. 20 years ago, it was routine to see me and millions of other people wearing 48mm watches. Nowadays, that just doesn't happen. My comfort zone is 42 to 44mm. That's where I personally want to be. And that's the size that looks best on me. I only make the exception for this one singular watch because you don't really find smaller case diameters on wandering hours watches. But this is literally the perfect size. I wouldn't even mind if it was a little bit bigger. But what I was afraid of is, oh my God, they're going to be showing this on a bunch of little tiny people, little skinny dudes probably wearing skinny jeans, and it's going to end up being too small for me when it arrives. And it's not. This is perfect. It looks good. It feels really good. I can read the time and everything very, very easily. It's wonderfully legible. All the way around, this thing is just awesome. This is an absolute favorite already right out of the box. Now, on their website, actually, I should probably get to the specs first because I did promise you I would do that. So let's go ahead and do that. I wish I could lay the watch down truly flat, but you really can't do that with this kind of strap. Well, that's fairly close, right? Close enough. Here's your specs. You have a solid 316L stainless steel case. In this particular variation, I opted for what they call green PVD. So you're getting the PVD coated option with the green hour indications, or time indications. The length is 48 millimeters, but it's not a 48 millimeter watch. The width is 38 millimeters, but it's not a 38 millimeter watch. You can't go by either one of those and get a true idea of how this is going to fit. This wears overall like a 41 to 42 millimeter case. It's just perfect. It doesn't feel tiny or wimpy, and it doesn't feel large or giant or overbearing. It's not heavy, none of that. The thickness is 14.5 millimeters thick. Now that's kind of chunky. It's a little chunky, but not too bad. Because again, you've got a unique display here. So you're okay with that. These two windows, by the way, they're sapphire crystals. You have two sapphire windows. The movement is a custom manufactured in-house caliber. Nobody else has this movement. It is exclusive to mechanical exploration. I talked to someone there, whomever it is that answers their social media messages. I don't know if it was the owner or the owner's son or just a random employee, but I asked them, hey, are there going to be any upcoming generations of this? And they said, yes, there's a titanium version coming. Yeah, I'm going to have to get one of those. I am already completely addicted to this. The strap on this, by the way, is an FKM rubber. It is very, very comfortable, and it doesn't hold on to every piece of lint or pet hair that's, dancing through the air. And it's nice and thick up at the lugs, and it tapers in its thickness. It also tapers only slightly in its width. They really did an exceptional job on this. You have such a wonderfully unique watch here. I would honestly tell you, if you look at this and go, I dig this idea and I like quirky watches from time to time in my collection, and I like things that are fun, I would tell you, don't even think about hesitating. Buy one of these. And the fact that this isn't $1,000, which is what I expected a micro brand of good value offering to be, is insane. If this were a macro brand, a large brand, a big mainstream brand, this would be $3,000 to $4,000. I could not believe it when I saw the price. That's why I had to jump. There was no way not to. I am thoroughly impressed and thoroughly, completely in love with this watch. I don't know how easy it's going to be to end the honeymoon period on this and take it off and put on another watch. And that's not generally who I am. Of course I get excited about every new watch I get. You get a new watch and it excites you. But on this one, I have a special new feeling that I haven't felt in a long, long time, where I don't think I'm going to want to take it off. As the story goes, the founder, whose name is Jason, they don't give his full name, just his first name. says that he had experience in watch design and manufacturing, so I read that as he either worked for a sizable watch brand or he was an OEM manufacturer for some various brands. The way by them saying that he has that experience, that's the way I look at it. The way I see it, you've got a mechanical marvel of time on your wrist, but it's not a mechanical watch movement. It's a quartz, so it's battery powered, so that means you're getting that quartz degree of accuracy. And you've got so much more than a basic time-telling watch. You've got the time of day as standard, plus a chronograph, plus an insanely bright LED backlight that are all controlled by a single crown and pusher combination. No additional pushers, no additional crowns anywhere on the case. Complex operation controlled with simplicity. This thing is friggin' special. And yeah, of course, I am madly in love. All right, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go put my new watch on and just enjoy myself. Thank you guys so much for joining me as always. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed bringing it out to you. And I love the fact that this is what I get to do all the time because it gives me an excuse to buy really cool stuff like this.